What's up, friends, and welcome back. Before we get started, make sure that you guys subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of my Scream, true crime, and horror-related videos. Check out my website, truecrimenurseryrhymes.com, for my book, True Crime Nursery Rhymes, and other horror and true crime-related products. Lots of really fun stuff on there. And if you're not following me on Instagram already, at True Crime Nursery Rhymes. Now I'm gonna get to business. Today, I wanted to talk about why Scream 4 is actually really good, or could have been really good. It's basically everyone's least favorite sequel or follow-up from the first Scream, and I enjoyed it. And after viewing the deleted scenes and reading more and more about what it was actually supposed to be like, and kind of rewatching it with a new mindset, I actually really learned to love it. And I'm now realizing that this shirt is like way too tight. See my nips, sorry. So I'm going to start right from the beginning. I actually really enjoyed the opening sequence of this film, how it was a movie within a movie. And I remember watching it and being like, these kills are so like weird. They're just so over the top and corny. Like, this can't actually be the film. And then it wasn't the film. And I didn't love the kills. Marnie and Jenny, the two characters that were killed first, I didn't love the way that they went. It didn't show me enough like it did in the very first Scream, just how graphic and terrifying those sequences were. I wanted that emulated in Scream 4, but come to find out, there's a deleted scene that I'm going to play for you in which Deputy Dewey and Judy Hicks are at the crime scene, and we see that Marnie is tied to a chair, just like Steve was, and Jenny is hanging from the, hanging from the ceiling fan, just like Casey Becker was. The first crime scene in Scream 4 was actually supposed to emulate the crime scene from the very first Scream. And that is supposed to be done throughout the entire film. Every kill is supposed to resemble a kill from the original Scream movie. It's supposed to be a reboot. The new killers in Scream 4 are rebooting the franchise, if you will, by doing a very specific copycat killing and recreating the original murders. So let's take a look at that deleted scene.
All right, I need DNA. Somebody else's bodily fluids, hair, something. So we can put whoever's responsible for this behind bars. And get her down. Cover them up. They're just kids. What about a murder weapon?
Knife. Deep wounds.
Like a kitchen knife?
Thicker blade.
Like a hunting knife?
More like it.
All right.
The other girl is Marnie Cooper. Jenny Randall's parents are out of town. They thought she was sleeping at Marnie's. Marnie's parents thought they were at Jenny's.
What about their cells?
Didn't find them. I'll see if the phone company can get a fix on them. GPS coordinates. We'll help you solve this, Sheriff. I will.
Thank you, Deputy Hicks.
Next up, we've got this fountain scene at the high school. I believe we see the main cast talking here, but there's a more extended scene that dives a little bit more into the characters and makes you like them a little bit more. Very, very similar to the fountain scene that we saw in the original Scream when Billy, Stu, Tatum, Sydney, and Randy are all just sitting around talking about Casey and Steve's murder. I think that scene is really important. It shows their camaraderie, their friendships, their maybe not so friendly friendships. That scene just helped us to get to know the main characters in the original Scream, and I think they tried to recreate that in Scream 4, but cutting the scene short, we didn't really get to see as much as we could. So let's take a quick look at that little fountain scene from Scream 4.
Why would the killer call you and Jill? Maybe you two are the killers. This generation's Billy and Stu.
Maybe you got shifter brains.
Ow, inappropriate.
Where's Jill?
Playing host to the Angel of Death.
Heard you two got a phone call from the stab voice this morning. Sounds like Charlie.
Or you. Where were you last night, by the way?
I was at home sleeping like a baby.
I just don't understand why the killer would call you and Jill and not me.
Well, probably just called Olivia for a good time, but Jill, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, she's Sydney's cousin, blood relations. The Grudge, Amityville Horror, Cape Fear, Halloween.
Okay, so who's the target here? I mean, is it me and Jill, or is it Sydney?
No, you can't kill Sydney. She's victim royalty. You gotta hit someone close to her.
Wait a second, it doesn't have to be Jill. Sydney Prescott's character has been gone since Stab 3. And plus, she's rejected her victimhood. I mean, she's practically slapped fate in the face.
Point taken. Yeah, Laurie Strode bit it in Halloween Resurrection. Ripley died in Alien 3. That's precedence.
Shut up, idiots. This is real life, okay? This isn't a movie.
But one day, it will be.
Well, time for someone new to die.
So next up, we've got Olivia's death scene. Olivia is the neighbor to Jill Roberts, Sydney's cousin. And Olivia has a pretty gruesome murder. She gets a knife through the hand. She gets basically gutted. There is blood all over the bedroom. In my opinion, the blood splatter was like a little bit much. But after all, it was gruesome and it made for a very suspenseful kill scene. So Olivia's murder was supposed to emulate Tatum's killing from the original Scream. She was thrust through that window just like Tatum was thrust through that pet door trying to escape Ghostface. And then later on we come to find out in a deleted scene that there was a pet door stuck over top of Olivia's head, over top of the dead body. And Deputy Judy Hicks was talking to Dewey outside and she says something along the lines of, I don't understand, like I just don't get that pet door. And then Dewey says, my sister was killed in a pet door. I don't even know what the words are, so I'm just gonna play the clip.
Can we get the coroner's van door open, please?
Did you get it all?
Shot it from every angle. Weird about that pet door frame around her neck.
My sister,
What?
Tatum. She was a victim in the original Woodsboro massacre. They found her body wedged in a pet door. These aren't just random murders. This is a Woodsboro remake.
Another scene that was supposed to resemble a scene in the original Scream was Kirby when she's downstairs in that basement talking to Ghostface on the phone, answering questions about horror movie sequels or reboots rather, and Charlie is tied up outside on the chair. That is supposed to resemble the opening sequence of the original Scream when Casey is talking to Ghostface and Steve is tied up on the chair. And I don't know if I just overlooked that or I didn't see it or it didn't make sense to me or it just wasn't done correctly to portray that this is the same thing. This is happening again. This is a copycat. That was lost on me. So let's take a look at that scene and then a little bit of the same scene from the original Scream and see if it all makes sense now.
Let him go, please.
I hear you like horror movies, Kirby, but do you like them as much as him? Forget watching Stab. You get to live it.
No, he's the expert, it's not me.
Warm-up question. Jason's weapon.
It's a machete.
There, you see, you do know the genre. Michael Myers.
Butcher knife.
Leatherface.
Chainsaw, please!
Just ask Sydney if you need some help. Freddy Krueger.
Razor hands.
Name the movie that started the slasher craze. Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Last House on the Left, or Psycho.
Psycho!
None of the above. Peeping Tom, 1960, directed by Michael Powell. First movie to ever put the audience in the killer's POV.
Wait, no. Please just ask me one more question, just one more.
All right, Kirby. Then it's time for your last chance question. Name the remake of the groundbreaking horror movie in which the villain...
Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Dawn of the Dead, The Hills Have Eyes, Amityville Horror, Last House on the Left, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, My Bloody Valentine, When a Stranger Calls, Prom Night, Black Christmas, House of Wax, The Fog, Piranha. It's one of those, right? Right?
Here's how we play. I ask a question. If you get it right, Steve lives.
Please don't do this.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Please.
It's an easy category. Movie trivia. Or even give you a warm-up question.
Don't do this, I can't.
Name the killer in Halloween.
No.
Come on, it's your favorite scary movie, remember? He had a white mask, he stalked the babysitters.
No.
Come on, yes you do.
Please.
What's his name?
I can't.
Steve's counting on you.
Michael Myers.
Yes! Very good. Now for the real question.
No!
But you're doing so well. We can't stop now.
Stop, leave us alone.
Then answer the question. Same category.
Oh, please stop.
Name the killer in Friday the 13th.
Jason!
I'm sorry. That's the wrong answer.
No, it's not. It was Jason.
Afraid not. No way.
Listen, it was Jason. I saw that movie 20 goddamn times.
Then you should know Jason's mother, Mrs. Voorhees, was the original killer. Jason didn't show up until the sequel. I'm afraid that was a wrong answer.
You tricked me.
Lucky for you, there's a bonus round. But poor Steve, I'm afraid he's out.
Now, in the original ending of Scream 4, it was supposed to end with Jill getting the spotlight, getting the light. Did you like that? Jill. That was a Just Jack moment. Fuck. Jill was supposed to have the limelight. She was the new Sydney. She thought that Sydney was dead. She thought that her and Gail were going to write a book, and that's where the movie was supposed to end. We find out that Sydney is not dead, and then the movie's supposed to be done. It's supposed to cut. Jill was the survivor. She was going to take over and become the new Sydney. And that was supposed to be the cliffhanger because Sydney knows who Ghostface is. Ghostface is still alive. And that was going to lead us in to Scream 6, in which, as far as I can recall, was supposed to still focus on Jill Roberts as the new Sydney Prescott. I believe she was supposed to be off to college, and then she was going to be stalked by some Ghostface. And then we come to find out that Sydney and Gail are somehow involved, and they are targeting Jill. I believe it was something like that, which was really cool because Sydney then would have become Ghostface. I don't know if she was actually going to be doing the killing. I don't know if there was going to be a separate Ghostface that was killing people in Jill's life, or just Sydney trying to torment Jill, trying to get her to confess and come forward that she was actually Ghostface in Scream 4. It's very complicated now that I'm kind of like piecing it together, but I think that would have been so interesting, so refreshing to just have a different take on the ending. The last thing I want to point out is Trevor, Jill's boyfriend. At the very end of the film, he is tied up, duct tape over the mouth, duct tape over the wrist, I'm pretty sure duct tape over the ankles, and he is taken out of a closet. And again, this was a point that was lost on me. I had to read about the fact that this was supposed to emulate Sydney's father. Even the way he's dressed, Trevor is wearing basically the same outfit that Sydney's dad was wearing in the original Scream. Tied up the same way, locked away in a closet the same way, going to be framed in the same way. This is exactly the same. But due to deleted scenes throughout this whole entire film, we lost those details. The fact that it was a reboot was just, for most of us, went over our head. Those connections to the original Scream, they just were not executed properly, whether it was due to the editing, whether it was due to the higher-ups interfering. The intention was there, but it just didn't come across that way to us. Not to mention the entire filter that was over top of the whole movie to give it that kind of foggy kind of feel. Wes Craven said that this was because he wanted it to feel like a reboot. He wanted it to feel different. But for me, that took you out of the film. It detracted from the quality of the film. The characters were not developed. They could have been developed if a lot of these scenes were not deleted. And I guess when you really start to think about it, it was a reboot. And just like a lot of reboots do, it sort of failed. Did not bring in the box office numbers that they were hoping. And a lot of the times these reboots that get done, they don't reboot. It does not restart the franchise. And then you gotta let about a decade pass before you try that reboot again and succeed, learning from your past mistakes. So if anything, Scream 4 did exactly what it was supposed to do. Make fun of reboots, not rebooting, and not working. And if you watch it with a fresh viewpoint like that, I think you're going to appreciate it way more. Let me know if there's anything that I missed in regards to the whole reboot vibe in Scream 4. Are there any additional scenes that were supposed to emulate scenes from the original Scream, or maybe even from Scream 2 and 3? I'm sure there's some things I missed, and I would love to know if you caught them and I didn't. Also, again, subscribe, like, comment, let's get the conversation going. Tick that bell button so you know when I post something new. And until next time, I'll be back.